Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
All right, so it's in the middle of your screen. So the question is, the next question, when calling corners, okay,
Let's begin.
either as fool or magician, doesn't matter, you can do it from either side. No matter what, and by the fool, this would be a man of faith, so, or a person of faith. So your Wiccans kind of pull in there, anyone who's summoning the Lord and the Lady and things like that. Your magicians don't call upon that force as an identifier through archetype. They're drawing on the universe in whole, or themselves, or maybe both, or they're a channel. But either way, they're not actually necessarily evoking a particular divinity, whereas the fool might be placing their faith entirely in that, functioning also as a channel, all of it being the universe. And no matter what, both of these guys will stand in this place, call the corners, and position things in exactly the same way. So the question is, why is north on top, and or why are wands on top at north? And you know what? Why are wands? I'm looking at the TV and it's messing me up. Why are the ace of wands at south? Why is the ace of pentacles on the top at north, and the swords over here, and the cups over here at west? What would be the logic? Because there's absolute logic here behind why this is. And I'm going to take a moment just to think about it, but there is a logic to the presentation. Want to take a stab?
I can try unless you got something, Magnus.
Try first, you.
Okay. Well, since it's flipped north to south, I'm not so sure about east to west, but since the first thing you notice is that you might expect the opposite for north and south, I'm thinking of the gender of the relationship between the individual and the greater universe. And so you have to have negative to positive, positive to negative. So maybe it's like pentacles are north because the universe is interfacing with, pentacles south. So it's some kind of fractal thing or gender. But that's the best I got right now.
It's real close. It's so close. Magnus?
I know that a Masonic lodge is arranged this way, so there is a logic, of course, in it. And I see a circle, but I don't know why I see a circle, actually. Fire. There, and you have water there, and you have air there, and then you have that there. No, I don't know.
Okay, give me 2 seconds and I will pull this up here.
Yeah.
And desktop. All right, what I'm going to share with you while we do this, let's see, go back here. Okay, first things first. I just had to pull that picture up so that when I share it, it'll make more sense. So close, Horace. All right, it has everything to do with gender and the presentation of gender as a product of this. So we know from the trioprima, okay, that wands are fire, right? And swords are air. So these are the two masculine elements that would combine and make sulfur, right? Fire and air. Right? Okay. Over here, we have cups and pentacles. These are the two elements. This is water and earth, which would then combine, okay, in this corner, and perform for you the salt, right? Then to unite the two, right? We get the these guys here, and they unite together in the center to perform or to make Mercury, which is the mind, right? So the magician's all about it, but so is the person of faith. Their mind is centered on the eye of the mind is centered to the Lord, or whatever Lord you happen to be working with. So both of them at the center function where the all exists as mind, right? So the all is mind, the universe is mental. Reducing back down to regular gender. So this is masculine, right? Fire, masculine over here. When looking at a torus, and we will share screen here. When looking at a torus, okay, the universe works like this, where it preferentially receives through the northern hemisphere and then projects through the southern hemisphere. So it comes in through the north and then evacuates through the south. So, and when you consider how your own body is orientated, okay, then all forms of energy in all its states are received through the top of you, right? So visual, sensory, taste, all of it. And forms of energy in all its states, chemical, vibratory, are received through this device and then experienced through the rest of the body. Okay, because it is the body, the brain formulates the experience, but the body is what experiences the experience, right? The brain then articulates to the body, hey, this was an experience, and describes it to itself. But ultimately, it is the body. So it comes in through here and then is experienced. Everything about the body then processes that energy in all its forms and evacuates it through the southern hemisphere, right? Through the bottom. So, and so that same idea then is processed here as a universal function and is expressed back in these cards. But that's only one way that's expressed. It's not giving us rotation. So it's showing you coming in this way, but the universe also rotates. It spins. So it's giving you the angle of rotation, which interestingly enough is another electric universe idea. So this is masculine projective rotating crossways this way to the feminine receptive on this side. So then energy for either of these folks is carried from one side of their person to the other. Their orientation in this light is telling you the source from which they're drawing. But either source is still half of the total material source available within the center in Mercury, right? Because water and air. So one draws from this source, so his arm is raised. So I'm drawing from that. And I'm formulating that. And everything to do with water then applies to that. So it's transit through Mariah, right? He's pulling that creative stuff. This person over here, transit through Yetzirah, right? They're yanking air, as well as pulling from the left side. So it's more than just that, because remember, each one of these aces then has dominion, right? But that's a different topic entirely. Just realize we're working this way. So the rotation's this way, right? So that's kind of where the flow is. The way we also know that you put the swords on the east and not the west is that it coordinates with the sunrise. So the sunrise is from east to west, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Fool is associated with the power of the sunrise, right? The Magician is associated with different power, not the sunrise. I would suggest the sunset, because the Magician's drawing from different murkier, darker resources of a lower vibratory state. So that's why we do that. That's why that's set up. That's the logic behind that. And then when you begin to work down through the deck and you begin to explore the relationships, you can then see what either party has strength in. You know, you can see where the energy then is flowing as you're moving down. This is a super cool meditation exercise because you're looking at it from the position that the alchemist stands in. The alchemist is neither of these guys, but he's both. He's both. He understands that there is an element, there's a paradox that is resolved in temperate, that you can have faith and understanding, you know, and hope, you know, put them together. They operate together. And all the other elements, you know.
The alchemist is understanding the mystics behind the Taurus, because he knows that.
Yes.
That he stands in the middle of the Taurus. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And this is where all the creative activity happens.
Yeah.
So.
And this is what is built in a lodge. Actually, they build the Taurus.
Not surprised. This idea, by the way, of this Taurus, it is a demonstration of a principle of mere power within our universe. So we build mountains and we build temples and towers. And what that is the lower vibrational mirror aspect driving upwards, right? Towards the center. Because it's coaxial flow. So on the out, you know, as it's working out, it's masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. But as we work up towards the center, the idea is that at the highest point where all the action's happening, like, you know, at the top of a ziggurat, that is then expanded outward into the cosmos in a reflection. And I have a strong suspicion, assuming that our ancient ancestors were in near proximity to a star that was regularly flaring, you can literally witness this, where it comes up and it makes this toroidal flare and drops back down. And it constantly does that. That flow on a stellar level then is seen everywhere that plants exist, because all your flowers wind up budding and then producing like that. All of the leaves wind up expanding in those forms. The trees wind up branching out in those forms with roots on the bottom and the substrate and the branches on the top. It literally is, for me, then the way you then see all of the universe here in layers. So. Yeah, and then you can just continue to just pull the cards back for yourself as part of your meditation and contemplate, okay, what is now seen as I drop down? Because in your head, you know, I'm also moving through the tree. I'm moving through various states of being, so that if I'm in the tree, then I'm back here, right? And so I'm in the top. This is all absolute here. It's like a CAT scan where you're just kind of working your way through the layers. This is exactly what this is. It's like a radio telemetry of substrate to look for various artifacts or bones or dinosaurs. They do exactly this, where then boom, big explosion, then they can see everything by layers through them. And you can do this as a form of exploration. So anyway, all right. So that's the why behind that.